Hey guys, it's Reese the Caterpillar, and today I wanted to talk to you about The Division and more specifically going solo in the game. I'm referring to missions on hard difficulties, but the principles and tactics I'll be talking about can be applied to all aspects of the game, so whether you're starting out, doing daily missions in endgame, or roaming the Dark Zone, these tips will hopefully be useful to you. So the first bit of advice I'm going to give is quite simple, but you will be amazed by the amount of people who don't seem to do this, or do this rarely, and the thing I'm talking about is taking cover. This game is a cover shooter. It's in the description. When you're playing by yourself, you don't have anyone to revive you, so if you go down, then you're going to have to redo everything up to the last checkpoint, and that just slows the game down, and is quite discouraging. So, how do you stop this? It's really simple, guys. It's just get behind cover. If you're correctly positioned behind cover, then no damage should be inflicted on you. There can be exceptions to this, and this leads me on to my next point. So you see a group of enemies, and you think, I'll just try and kill the first one that's nearest to me, maybe. Maybe I'll try and kill a group of people because they're standing next to each other. That's not always the best decision. There are certain types of enemies you must kill first. Building on my previous point, and that the way to survive and succeed in picking enemies off while not taking incoming damage is by taking cover, there are two weak points to this tactic, and these are the rushers and the grenadiers. Now, the rushers are the enemies who have the lightning bolt symbol next to their health bar. They run directly at you with shotguns, and they don't care if they die, or they don't care for their own well-being, as long as they inflict as much damage as possible, which means that you could die within seconds if you're not careful. These should be your top priority for killing as soon as possible. Your next priority is, yep, you've guessed it, the grenadiers. Now, these guys have a grenade symbol next to their health bar, and can force you out into the open by throwing grenades over and behind the cover you've taken, which means that to avoid the grenade damage you'll have to switch cover, but by doing so you could expose yourself to enemy gunfire. Taking these out will prevent the grenade spam. Now, a bit of a side tip, but an ideal way to take them out is to shoot them while they're trying to throw the grenade, because then they flinch, drop the grenade by their feet, and essentially dig their own graves, which is, not gonna lie, it's pretty satisfying to watch. Anyways, back to the point. Taking out these two types of enemies will mean that you won't be forced out of cover and can therefore dictate the tempo and range of your engagement. Now, as you can see from the video in the background, I'm using an assault rifle and a marksman rifle. That's because I like to keep my engagements at a distance, which means that the enemy find it hard to hit me. So another important tip I'm going to give you is to have a medical orientated skill set. Now, I'm not saying that every skill you have has to be medical based, but when you're playing by yourself, it goes without saying that no one is going to heal you. So if you are low on health and you don't have any healing skills, then you will be struggling big time. Now, you're probably all like, yeah, but what about medkits? You can use them as much as you want. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about them. But the problem with just relying on medkits is that there's only a finite amount of them. I have the maximum of 5 medkits, and on some of the hard missions, I pretty much use all of them. Medkits should only be a backup for when you're about to die and your healing skill is recharging. So my recommendation for going solo is the most basic self-heal ability, purely because it replenishes all your health immediately, or in other words, not over time, which can help you out in tricky situations. It's basically like having a medkit which recharges every so often. The healing station is very good too, and even has a mod that allows you to revive yourself, which is great, but if you put it down in anticipation of going down, you might as well just heal yourself up using the other ability. Having said this, the healing station is good if you're playing with your friends or with multiple people, but that's an entirely different story, and we'll probably get to that at some later stage. Anyways, back to the point. As you can see from the video in the background, I'm using the basic self-heal ability with the medic special ability and the sticky bomb. Now, the medic special ability works like a second self-heal ability, or a medkit, but with a slower cooldown. Sometimes I switched it out for a security special ability so that I take less damage and therefore avoid the need for healing altogether. The sticky bomb is basically a filler ability, but I quite like it because you can stick it to enemies and to walls to hit enemies behind cover, and it deals loads of damage. To summarise though, survivability is key, and so self-heal and take cover. My final tip is really more common sense than an actual tip, but it is probably the most important thing to take on board, and that is to not bite off more than you can chew. Now, in case you're not aware of the saying, it basically means know your limits. You could be playing the game very carefully and very well, but if you peek out of cover and aim, and you lose half your health from a single enemy shot, then you're probably up against enemies who are too high level for you, which is fine, like, there's no shame in that. I get killed so quickly if I try and solo a mission on challenging difficulty. It's just a case of killing easier enemies, acquiring better gear from them, and then going back and facing the harder enemies. Anyways, like I said before, once you're down, you can't be revived when you're playing solo, and facing enemies who can kill you super easily does not only mean that you can't kill anyone and therefore can't receive loot off their dead bodies, but it's also very demoralising, and the game is meant to be fun and challenging, not disheartening and impossible. So guys, I think I'm going to leave it there for now, but I really hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully found some of my points useful to you. Now, if you want to see me talk about another topic, or want to see a kind of video like me going around the Dark Zone, or doing certain missions, or anything really, then please leave a comment and I'll try to do it. Like I said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. This has been Reese the Caterpillar, and I'll catch you next time.